The Royal Enfield Himalayan helped a lot of Indian riders in exploring the unexplored with ease, and was pocket-friendly too. We too have had some great memories with the Himalayan on different kinds of terrain. But that affordable adventure motorcycle has got slightly expensive with the BS6 upgrade. So Royal Enfield decided to bring in something that is neither a hardcore machine that feasts on slush nor a regular mundane street motorcycle. The best way to do that was a stripped-down version of the Himalayan, and that is exactly what the new Scram 411 is. Royal Enfield has launched the new Scram 411 in India with prices starting at 2.03 lakh Indian rupees, cheaper by about 50,000 Indian rupees compared to the Himalayan. But what are the changes that have resulted in this massive cost cutting? And how different does it behave when compared to the Himalayan? To unpack all that, we spent a day with the Scram 411, and here's how it went. The first thing you'll notice about the Scram 411 is its stance. While it shares most of the Himalayan's platform, it has become significantly shorter and looks sleeker. The front looks less daunting, with the elimination of the tall windscreen and the high-mounted fender. What you get instead is a small cowl to fit the gap between the headlamp and the instrument cluster. The instrument cluster is also not the highly informative one that is offered with the Himalayan, but it shares an item that the Scram shares with the Meteor 350. This unit works fine, but the Tripper system still needs some improvement, especially because the smartphone app drains the phone's battery at an alarming rate. The front frames on either side of the fuel tank have also been dropped, and the Scram doesn't even get the center stand as standard. Moreover, the front wheel has gone down from a 21-inch to a 19-inch, and the Scram 411 weighs only about 5 kilograms less than the Himalayan. We were expecting it to weigh at least 10 to 15 kilograms less. The overall look of the Scram 411 is a bit confusing. The name suggests that it should look like a scrambler. It does not. We know that Himalayan has a practical aesthetic appeal and that it is appreciated for its capabilities, but the Scram is stuck somewhere in between. It's polarizing. Some people are going to love it, while others will not. Stepping towards the practical end of things, the split-type seat of the Himalayan has been replaced with a single seat that is extremely comfortable. Even the seat height has gone down by 5 mm, making it more accessible to shorter riders. The Scrap behaves rather differently to the Himalayan because of the shorter wheel. The rake has been sharpened by a half degree, and that has made the motorcycle more nimble for city riding. But it has also decreased the ground clearance from 220 mm to 200 mm, which is not that bad. In fact, it is quite impressive for a street bike. The suspension has also been tweaked, and it feels a bit stiffer than that of the Himalayan. It helps the Scram 411 with better rigidity and road holding, and that's great because this motorcycle will largely be ridden on tarmac. So, the stability has been improved significantly, and the ride quality on normal roads is quite impressive. But that doesn't mean the Scram 411 can't go off the road. It can tackle dirt and gravel better than most street bikes. We were riding it at the Big Rock Dirt Park in Bengaluru, and we tried it on a trail, flat track, and even an MX zone. And we must say that this bike can take a fair amount of beating. And then you get the same Nobi tires from Seat, so you can be confident about the grip on loose patches. Of course, you'll miss that 21-inch wheel and longer suspension travel on trails, but then you will not complain about the compromise, because the trade-off is for a better on-road experience. Off-road adventures are going to be once-in-a-while things to do with the Scram 411, and that too only for a few. Be it a super smooth one or a broken one, most of the time we'll be riding this motorcycle on roads only, and the Scram deals with both kinds in a very confident way. Now, what hasn't changed at all from the Himalayan is the 411cc engine. The power and torque figures are the same, the gearing is the same, the sprocket sizes are the same, the relaxed cruising speed also remains between 90 and 100 km per hour, and crossing the 120 km per hour mark is a struggle. Another thing that remains similar to the Himalayan are the brakes up front and at the rear, but you can't turn the rear ABS intervention off in the Scram, which is okay as it is not a hardcore off-roader. But the braking performance itself is not up to the mark. We're not saying it's bad, but this system needs a little more stopping power, not just in the Scram, but the Himalayan as well. So while the Scram 411 is based on the Himalayan, it's not just a naked version of its sibling. They both share the frame, engine, mechanical components, and even have a great resemblance in looks. But when you start riding the Scram, the differences start to emerge. It is a very different product and has a different purpose altogether. The Scram 411 will be an option for those who feel that the Himalayan is a bit too tall, a bit too big for their body posture. It is for people who want a motorcycle that can deal with twists and turns and city traffic while going to work on weekdays, but can also plaster a big smile on their faces when they take it out on a weekend escape, no matter what kind of roads they are taking. And for that purpose, the new Royal Enfield Scram fits in an all-new category. It should be called Bang On.